Morning Blitz begins now.
Hey, yo, welcome to your Monday. Good morning. Hi, Kelly.
Hi, Goose.
How are you?
Great. How are you?
Good. Thick. What's going on, man?
What's up?
High of 55 today. We have a few showers possible. It's going to be a much cooler week.
Oh, man.
All just for the entire week, so just get used to it. Rainy over the weekend.
You haven't walked down by the river since you...
I have not, no.
Dude, the water's in the parking lot.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I kind of figured as much because I know that, we got as much rain in Detroit this weekend as you did here. It was just kind of wet all weekend long.
How's Detroit doing?
Detroit's doing well.
All right.
What was supposed to be like a lazy nothing weekend ended up turning into an absolute madhouse of a weekend. We had it planned just literally a mattress weekend that we do every so often. We actually drag the spare mattress into the living room, pull out the pillows and the comforters and don't move. Order Uber Eats. It was just supposed to be lazy, but it ended up being just nonstop all over the place. Trying to get without cars because we got the cars detailed, but they were supposed to be done overnight, but they weren't. So then we had Saturday afternoon, we had no car, ended up walking like 5 miles because I had to go to the bank and do this, and I had to get it all done.
Gosh.
And then the 12-year-old turned 13 on Saturday, so we officially have another teenager, so we had his birthday party yesterday. It was all over the place. And then I want to share with you, this is how my night ended. I drove back. Got back a little bit later because of the birthday party and everything, so that by the time I got back, it was just, like, pretty much straight to bed.
Yeah.
But because it was so busy, when I go back to Detroit, and I leave on Sundays, Nora and I will always leave each other a note. She'll put it, like, in my suitcase. I'll put it, like, next to the nightstand, whatever. Because it was so busy, I forgot to do so. So when I got home yesterday, I sent her a text message in lieu of the note I was going to leave her. But she didn't respond right away, and so I was doom scrolling before bed, and I found a TikTok video, and we always shoot each other TikTok videos, and there's a great golf video. It's an old video, but as a golfer, I find it hilarious, and she knows my golfing game, so I sent her the video, which showed up right after the text I had sent her. So real quick, I want to read you the text that I sent her.
Okay.
All right? Bunny. I call her Bunny. Thank you for an amazing weekend. Even though the plans got flipped completely upside down, I wouldn't have it any other way. Spent a lot of time in my head on the drive down, but totally in a good way. So many times we get caught in funks when we get inside our own heads, but this time I was all grateful and happy. Just a few more weeks and this new adventure becomes complete. An adventure I know is going to be amazing. I could never imagine doing this adventure or life with anyone but you. Everything else just totally pales in comparison. I now know what everything previously in my life had led me to, and it's you.
Oh, my gosh. It's so romantic.
I love you. Blah, 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 blah.
Oh, you're a real softie, aren't you?
I am. For her, absolutely. And then directly after that, I sent her a video. And this is the video, audio from the video I sent her.
Okay.
So what are the secrets of golf that pros know? Well, I heard this one time, and I remembered it, and it's really, if you'd write this down, it really helped. What I try to do, I try to flat load my feet so I can snap load my power package. That way I can amplify both lag and drag pressure through impact fix. As long as my number 2 power accumulator doesn't break down, I can reach maximum centrifugal force with minimum pivotal resistance. You see, the pivot is the utilization of multiple centers to produce a circular motion for generating centrifugal force on an adjusted plane, plus the maintenance and balance necessary to promote the 2-line delivery path. See, golf is geometrically oriented linear force. It involves a physical muscle.
You get the point.
Get the fucking
And then
force.
at the end of the video, he hits the ball, and the ball pops straight up in the air, and he catches it, and he throws it. It's a dumb golf video.
Okay.
The next text I get is from Nora, and her response is, I'm way too high for those words. She took her gummy to go to sleep. And I said, oh, that kind of breaks my heart after all those nice things I said to you. You're what? And she responds, no, the golf video. I was so heartbroken.
Yeah, you're like, you put a lot of thought into that. Yes.
Too high.
Too high for all those words.
Too high for me telling you.
Oh, my gosh.
How much I love you. I can't wait to share the rest of my life with you. It was a heartbreaker.
Tell it to someone who cares.
Right. Exactly. All right, we got a lot to do on a Monday. Let's get going. Blitz Morning Trivia. Thick, what you got?
All right, $25 up for grabs to water beds and stuff. Text in the answer first at 9970, and we'll give you that gift card. Jay North, actor Jay North, has passed away, and the question is, what TV character did Jay North play? This was the 60s, so it's been a while, but if you know, you know. So Jay North, dead, used to play this character on television. Tell us at 99,700. Be first, get the gift card.
Let's get that answer to Blitz Morning Trivia, Thick.
All right, the question was, actor Jay North passed away and wanted to know what character he played on television. It was a 60s TV show, so I wasn't sure how many people would get it, but actually a lot of people got it. It was Dennis the Menace. That's who Jay North played. He was also in The Man from U.N.C.L.E. He was in Lassie and General Hospital. He even
child actor.
Had a spot on The Simpsons.
Okay.
You know, so... Yeah, he was 73 years old. Interesting, though, he talked about how much he hated doing Dennis the Menace because of the abuse. You know, because we heard about, you know, like Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz and how they treated her, which was ridiculous during the filming of that. But listen to what he had to say.
I hate Dennis the Menace. I thought Dennis the Menace was a piece of garbage. I absolutely despise that show. It's an evil, vile system. The people in it who run it are cruel. They are insensitive. They don't care about anybody but making money. My aunt, if I didn't live up to her unrealistic expectations, she would hit me, physically abuse me. I would go in and I would do a scene, and I would come off the set, and everybody would say, "Hey, you did a great job," and then I would get a slap across the face, or taken into the dressing room and get a spanking or a verbal tongue lashing or whatever. And she would just physically, she would grab my hair and, you know, just shake me, and just made life a living hell for the whole 4 years. And my uncle was very abusive too.
Wow. Child actors, man.
Damn.
Not treated well.
That's
unfortunate.
He said that in 1991, told Katie Couric that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So.
Speaking of TV, I saw this list I wanted to go over real quick, because obviously his opinions are like buttholes. Like, everyone's got one, for sure, and you like what you like. But BuzzFeed asked people, what is an overrated TV show or movie? I'm sorry, not overrated, overhyped, where people are all about it. This is the most amazing thing. You got to see it. It's the greatest. It's once in a generation. And you're like, eh. And starting off the list at number 10, I happen to agree with The Sopranos. I was like, meh.
Okay.
It's okay.
Kelly will fight you.
Why you biting your thumb over there?
It is just a personal preference. I mean, I have to let my my anger over that go because I love The Sopranos. I thought it was one of my probably top 5 TV shows ever.
Really? Okay.
Top 10 maybe. And absolutely think it's just exquisite.
Okay. Exactly.
But it's not for everybody.
Not for everybody.
No.
It's fine. Midsummer, whatever that. I remember seeing the previews for that. I never saw it.
I remember the movie Midsummer. Yeah.
Number 8, Ted Lasso.
Oh, come on. Ted Lasso's great.
Yeah, but is it overhyped as like the next greatest show ever made?
Oh, I don't think it's the greatest show ever made. It was really funny.
That was pretty good.
It's
Overhyped?
right, yeah,
maybe a little bit.
good.
Oppenheimer, the Christopher Nolan
Never
movie.
saw that
Haven't
one.
seen it yet.
Really good.
Yeah, I bet it is.
I love it. So calling it overhyped, I don't know. I think it's really, really good.
Need to watch it.
Young Sheldon is on the list.
Oh, that is great.
Okay.
I've seen some clips. I like
hilarious.
Big Bang Theory. I was like, it didn't look as good as Big Bang Theory, though.
He is. It's amazing. He's so him. I mean, if you've watched Big Bang Theory,
right.
You see, all the stories you hear throughout Big Bang Theory, they're all in there.
Tie in.
Yeah, it's great.
Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
Haven't seen it.
Love that movie. Overhyped? I don't know. It's pretty good. Euphoria. Isn't that HBO Max, I think?
Yeah, we tried that. I didn't take.
I tried it too.
last
It's
long.
not for me.
Yeah,
I think first episode I was like, I don't think I'm gonna
All
like
the
this.
talk about it.
I think
Yeah.
that's a young girl show.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. The Revenant, the Leonardo DiCaprio movie.
Oh, my husband's obsessed with this movie. It's a joke now because we have it recorded, and every time we're looking for a movie, he'll always like highlight that one, and he'll look at me and he's like, "You ready? You ready?"
I think it's good.
Watch The
I
Revenant.
think it's good.
I've never seen it. He loves it.
Number 2, Anyone But You. I don't even know what that is.
I don't either.
Yeah, haven't heard
Anyone
of it.
But You. Okay.
Number 1 on the list, I think we'll all have feelings about overhyped TV show or movie, Succession.
Oh, okay.
I haven't seen it.
You almost rubbed your fingers through your hair.
Succession is excellent. It's excellent. It is excellent.
I think it's excellent.
Now, I will say
Overhyped.
maybe, and that's the problem, is that you get into these like enormous shows that have legs, like Severance, and people start hyping it up to a point that it could never meet expectations. And I think that happened with Succession.
Okay, yeah, that could be it.
And it may be happening with Severance, because you weren't too sure about Severance when you first 5-6 episodes. You were like, I don't know, man. What's the hype?
Oh my God, I'm so stupid.
Is that what you were thinking of?
Yes.
Oh.
I was totally thinking Severance.
Oh, you were thinking
Instead of
Severance.
Yes.
Yeah.
No. Succession's amazing. Wait a minute. Time out. Pause.
It's so good.
Succession's amazing.
Yeah, incredible.
That's not overhyped. I think Severance is a little overhyped.
Yeah, okay, all right.
Okay. I'm dumb. I'm really, really dumb. Okay.
No.
But you're right in what you thought.
Right, exactly. Got it. 997 The Blitz.
Not so breaking news. The news already broke. We're trying to put it back together.
All right, it seems like almost daily we're talking about AI and its advancement and what people are using AI for. And, well, it looks like we've taken another step forward because a man in the state of New York by the name of Jerome DeWald was just in court and got berated by the judge because he programmed himself an AI lawyer. Oh. He had a screen set up and designed and generated this avatar equipped with whatever knowledge it was equipped with. And Jerome says, look, I generated it because I thought it would do a better job delivering my argument than me stumbling over my own words. So this is what happened. And then the judge figured out what was going on. This is what happened in the courtroom.
The appellant has submitted a video. We will hear that video now.
May it please the court. I come here today a humble pro se before a panel of 5 distinguished justices.
Is this, hold on. Is that counsel for the case?
I generated that. That is not a real person.
You did not tell me that, sir, and you have appeared before this court and been able to testify verbally. You are not going to use this courtroom as a launch for your business. So if you are able to shut that off,
I apologize.
You have 5 minutes.
Guess he works in software and he generated himself an AI lawyer.
Is that
It took
illegal?
her like 3 seconds to figure it out.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Is that against the rules?
To have an AI lawyer?
Yeah.
Sure it is.
I think you should inform the judge because this person's in charge of you, inside that room.
I mean, where would you look to say it is against the law to use an AI lawyer? But there's no way they're going to allow you to do that.
Just use the AI to prepare your remarks and read it from a page.
Read it, right.
It's not that difficult.
Exactly.
This guy wanted to pull a stunt.
Ask your legal. He 100% did. Yeah. Ask your legal questions. Write down the answers. And if you want to use that as your argument, if you're defending yourself, then do that. But
I'd be annoyed if I was the judge. I'm glad you said that.
100%.
Get out of my courtroom.
Speaking of laws, this is just, if this goes through, then something is wrong with the system. This is so aggravating. A man in Montreal is fighting a parking ticket that his daughter got in front of his house on April 1st. It sounds like a bad April Fool's joke, but it's not. Early in the morning, the city installed signage for a brand new bus stop that was going to be now in front of the man's house. The sign is actually in his front lawn for the bus stop. The crew finished up the overnight work, at about 7:55 a.m. At 8:05 a.m., parking enforcement came by and gave his daughter a parking ticket because she was parked in front of the house where they just installed a brand new bus stop sign.
Oh, you got to take that to court.
10 minutes, and she got a parking ticket. I would be so mad.
Oh, my gosh.
Right? I would lose my mind if I woke up and all of a sudden there's a parking ticket. There's no way no judge is going to uphold this ticket.
I would hope not. But the fact that you have to go through this process now is just BS.
100% aggravating. But yeah, there's no way. They just show at me like, And there's got to be, I would have to assume, some sort of log / paperwork / plan that the city was like, okay, today we're working on this spot. So at least he can prove the sign was just installed that morning. There's no way he should be paying for this parking ticket. I would lose my mind. So you're not so breaking news, 99.7 The Blitz. Papa Roach there. They're veterans of Sonic Temple. It's going to be
Sonic Rock on the Range.
Yeah, it's going to be another amazing weekend, the 8th through the 11th. In fact, the Tour to the Temple has kicked off on Saturday with Tess at Chubby's, and then it continues this Friday with Ronnie. She's going to be at Tavern 62 in Harrisburg. And then I can't wait. I get out and about for the first time.
Hey!
Yeah. I am super excited. I am going to be making a Tour to the Temple stop on Saturday. I'm going to be at Pete's Cottage at Tipton Tavern in Powell from 3 to 5 this Saturday. So if you want to come hang out, we'll get registered for Sonic Temple tickets. We'll have an absolute blast. I cannot wait to finally get out with the station, meet the Blitz Nation, and just have a great time. So lots of stops. You can see it all on our website, theblitz.com. I know over the weekend, like I said, we had some driving around to do, and I had the 16-year-old in the car with me, and he's coming this year. He's super excited. He's going to be here for a couple days, and he was he just had the whole playlist going. He was Rob Zombie and Incubus and Metallica and Linkin Park. He's going to be there for the Friday and Saturday shows, and he's already just preparing for everything, and he cannot wait. He's already excited to go down to the pit with you, Thick. So I said, all right, I'm going to stand there on the edge and keep an eye on you, make sure all is well. But, not only should you listen to the music of the artist you want to go see, so you're prepared for that, but Google some, pit videos from YouTube to know what you're going into.
Agreed.
Because just be known that you come out with a scratch or a black eye, it might happen. Just putting it out there.
I mean, a 16-year-old's going to hope for that, right?
I would think so.
You need some injuries to show your friends that you really went through it.
I would think so.
Yeah.
Your first experience, come out with a bloody nose.
Oh, yeah.
You'll be all right, but you want those war scars. It's like, what was that movie? It was a great movie, Something Kings, and it had Vin Diesel in it, and they go to this small town, and he's having a talk with the small town tough guy. And he's like, 500 fights, 500 street fights. That's what it takes to build leather skin. But you got to start somewhere.
That's right.
So get in that first pit and go for it. Welcome to your Monday morning. Last night being Sunday, getting ready for the week. A lot going on. I wanted to make sure I got a good night's rest. So took myself a little gummy. Took just a little extra to make sure that I was going to sleep nice and tight. But it took a minute to fall asleep. So it had started to kick in.
Uh-oh.
So I'm laying there in bed, and when you do that, your mind starts to roam. And so I wanted to share with you this morning some of the gummy thoughts I had while falling asleep last night. Cheese is just a loaf of milk.
Yeah, you're right about that.
Uh-huh. You got yourself a loaf of bread, put it right next to the loaf of milk.
Yeah.
I thought about this while falling asleep last night. If aliens really attack Earth, my first thought is probably going to be, which movie came the closest? How did we figure this out already? Which one is most realistic?
Yeah, are we like War of the Worlds?
Right.
Are we? Yeah, I
exactly.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Is it Signs?
Uh-huh.
I mean, there's so many to choose from. Which one was it? Thought about this. Deaf people probably don't see a lot of helicopters. Because
that's true.
For the most part, you hear one first.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. This thought crossed my mind because I saw a preview on Disney Plus or something for it. But as I saw the preview, it really got me thinking. There are sidewalks in the movie Cars, but everyone's a car.
Oh.
But there's no why waste the time building all those sidewalks? That doesn't seem like good city planning, is all I'm saying.
Oh man, that's really that's a head scratcher.
Thought about this one while falling asleep when the gummy kicked in. All skiing is water skiing.
In some form.
That's true.
Yeah, in some form. Thought about this one. If no customer complains about a bulletproof vest, it's either a really good bulletproof vest or a really bad bulletproof vest.
Okay. Yes, you're right. Either way, you're not getting a complaint.
No one's coming back to complain. Yeah.
That's a good one.
And finally this morning, I thought about this. How important, speaking of bulletproof vests and death, how important do you have to be to have been assassinated versus murdered?
Yeah, what's the line?
What's the line?
Oh.
Because if you're...
Well, okay. Doesn't it have to be a targeted thing to be an assassination?
No.
Does it? I don't know.
If somebody walked in here and killed all three of us, they wouldn't say we were assassinated. They'd say we were murdered.
Right. But if you're like standing out and about and all of a sudden a bullet comes out of nowhere, like from a sniper, does a sniper have to be involved to be assassanated?
I feel like you have to be some level of importance.
Some level of importance.
Yeah.
Before it's considered assassination.
Yep.
Okay. I mean, again,
this is a great question.
What is the line? I want to know what the line is, because it's not necessarily being political. You know, a politician aren't the only people that are assassinated.
I feel like they are. Who would you say would be assassinated outside of a politician?
Was the CEO of the healthcare company assassinated?
Oh, good
was
call.
that an assassination?
I feel like it was.
But again, was that pre-planned? So does that make it an assassination?
Yeah, that's what I was meant by targeted.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
Did she plan it all out for the assassination, or the just straight up murder? Because there are a lot of times in the inner cities, if you do a drive-by, you're most likely looking for a target. A lot of times, you do a drive-by shooting. So then are you assassinated? Or is it just a murder? Just some things I thought about.
I'm going to have to chew on this through the break.
Just putting it out there. There you go, some gummy thoughts I had while falling asleep last night. 99.7 The Blitz.
And now, the 3 things you need to know before you go.
Some parts of central Ohio received over 5 inches of rain over a 4-day period from Thursday through the weekend. For a time this weekend, the city of Columbus had to close the flood wall gates near Green Lawn and Harmon. They have since been reopened. There are still numerous road closures around central Ohio because of water, like on the south end at 270 and 23. U.S. stock futures are on the decline ahead of a new trading week on Wall Street. Dow Jones Industrial, S&P 500, and NASDAQ futures all fell roughly 4% yesterday. Dow futures were down more than 1,200 points overnight. This comes after the Dow saw back-to-back losses of over 1,500 points last week, while the S&P took a 6% drop on Friday, the worst since March 2020. The markets have been taking a steady beating as President Trump's tariffs sparked trading panic. TikTok has a 75-day extension to continue operating in the U.S., and the issue is over tariffs. President Trump made the announcement over the weekend. Apparently, Chinese-owned ByteDance was expected to approve a proposed deal that had been in the works for months. They had it all together, and it was going to meet that April 5th deadline. But then ByteDance informed the White House that China was no longer interested in approving the deal unless there were negotiations on tariffs. So that whole thing was blown up. And the can is kicked down the road again until the 3rd week of June. By the way, the potential investors were Oracle. It was a group of companies, Oracle, Blackstone, a venture capital group, and some others. And those are your 3 things.
Man. Well, here's the other thing, too. I know a lot of people that make their living using TikTok and generating revenue that way through the TikTok shop.
Yes.
A lot of that stuff comes from those companies overseas.
That's right. That's exactly right.
I'm not surprised they got an extension, though. I think for now they're going to keep kicking the can down the road until something works out. I don't think it's going to necessarily go away.
Right. So YouTube is launching this new shorts video editing tool thing. So if something happens,
they can jump right in.
Yeah, it's to save you. They're there to save you.
Yep, absolutely. If I were to make a list, and the title of that list was Celebrities I Want to Go Drinking With, Jason Kelce's way up towards the top. He seems like just a fun guy to hang out with. And him and his brother Travis have a podcast that has blown up over the past year and a half or so. And they were on their podcast recently, and this is what Jason Kelce had to say.
I mean, if we're being honest, it usually just gets in the way.
Jason.
It's an inconvenient appendage. It just gets in the way sometimes.
Let's pause it real quick.
If you're running, you got to think.
You obviously, just through the beginning of the conversation, you know what appendage he's talking about.
Okay. What he says is useless?
Says it's not useless, just gets in the way. Inconvenient.
I got you.
Inconvenient.
Oh, that makes sense.
Not useless, just inconvenient.
Okay.
All right.
I mean, if we're being honest, it usually just gets in the way.
Jason.
It's an inconvenient appendage. It just gets in the way sometimes, you know what I mean? Like, if you're running, you got to think there'd be less friction without that in between your legs trying to play sports, right?
No. I don't think about it. It doesn't bother me at all.
Let's just be honest. If you can detach it, that means you could probably attach and upgrade it. You know what I mean? You could go bigger. Assuming it's like a universal connection point, I could attach another one.
Universal connection point.
It's like a KitchenAid. It comes with all the different attachments.
Right.
I mean, that's the number one complaint men have is, nowadays, we will never live up to some of the things that women can buy at the store.
Oh, yeah.
There's just no way.
No.
We don't have 23 different speeds or rotating beads or...
We got one move.
Like
we understand
that. Exactly. We're single trick pony. That's all there is to it.
That's why you have to embrace the toys. Stop being afraid of them. They are your friend.
But to be able to unattach and reattach different connections and different appendages and different tools... What?
Detachable Penis. It's a song by King Missile.
Who?
Exactly.
Someone made a song called Detachable Penis.
Yes.
Okay.
It just fit.
Sure. But I'm thinking, like, if you could detach a body part, Kelly, what body part would you...
It would probably be like my scalp with the hair.
Oh, so
just
different
hairstyle.
Yeah.
Click on different hairstyles.
Click. Yeah.
It's like a Lego head.
That's
There's just
cool.
a nub at the top of your head, and it
Yeah.
just clicks into place.
Yeah.
So you can change it up depending on what kind of mood you're in.
Plus, it's like such a pain to take showers and like dry all this and straighten it out. It's
So you just take it off.
Yeah, send it out.
Bald,
send it
you're
out for a
good.
wash and a straighten.
Yeah.
But think about this. How about hands? Let's say I'm doing, this is a big job. I need the big hand. I need the Hulk
You need
hands
Hulk
for
hands.
this. Oh, I got to get into this little tiny place. I need the little tiny hands for this.
That's pretty good.
Right?
That's pretty good. If you had
It
a
reminds me of this little doll hand things
Yes.
that people put under their
Oh,
sleeve
yes.
with the tiny hand.
I used to do that at the restaurant. People would lose their minds.
Love that.
I would pick up like a French fry with the two little hands and be like, num num num. Or it's even better. It's even better when the server comes up and you've got the tiny hands on your index fingers. And of course, you're tucked in. The server comes up like, "Do you know what you'd like to eat?" And I would go, and tap them in front of my mouth. The instant reaction is
that's hilarious.
pretty great. Or you try and take a drink and you just grab your straw and you're like, take a little step. But yeah, if you're doing demolition and you put the Hulk hands on, and just go to work on the wall, get your exercise at the same time. That'd be good. That'd be good. You've got one. 800-821-9970 or 99700. You got the detachable body part. You can attach different things, different tools.
Yeah.
Got all the attachments.
I'm going hiking. I need the Sasquatch feet.
Oh, man. Or you get to a difficult part of the wall and you click on the mountain goat feet.
Right.
So you can just stand sideways against, like, no ledge. No fear of falling. You're like, I'm good. Yeah.
Oh, my gosh, man. Yeah,
Where's
just
Goose?
snap.
Last time we saw him, he was on the side of that mountain.
That's right. Just hanging out.
Hanging out.
Chewing on some tree branch. Or you drop something and you're too lazy to pick it up.
Yeah.
Attach the hand foot.
Yeah. Maybe,
grab it.
You just
your monkey foot and just pick up whatever's on the ground.
take your foot off and attach your skiing. Your skis, all part of it, just clicks right in. Don't worry about it.
Clicks right.
Bam.
Yeah. Going in a race, you attach your Roadrunner feet. You just dig, gone. Be a good one. Anyways, if you've got one, 800-821-9970 or 99700. I'm out.
Your rock station, 99.7 The Blitz.
Coming up. Oh, we got to talk about this because there was an article and Thick saw it and you could see it in his face. It affected him personally. People came up with a list to the adult version of being picked last in gym class. Remember as a kid?
Yeah, I remember it well.
Someone got picked last
Me. I got picked last.
Thick had personal feelings about it, too. So,
Aww.
What's the adult version of being picked last? They got a great list going. We'll get to that next. 99.7 The Blitz. I mean, look, it's a given. If you have a group of people and you're doing a selection process, there's going to be a person that's picked first, and there has to be a person picked last.
Always.
That's just the way it is. And, depends on what the activity is. I think anyone participating in an activity that is told to choose sides or people are going to go with what they think is most advantageous to that certain scenario. And so sometimes, let's say when you're younger, if you're in gym class doing an activity, you might pick someone who might be a little more athletic looking than not. Thick, how was that growing up, by the way?
Oh, well, I was a fat kid, So, yeah, I got picked last several times. And until I proved myself.
Right.
Because there were some advantages.
Of course.
I was fat, but I was very strong. So when we were doing tug of war, everybody wanted me on their team to be cleanup.
Well, you need the anchor.
Yeah, it was me.
Yeah,
every
absolutely.
time. But
plant your feet, you're not going anywhere.
The thing was, then I ended up, I got picked last for whatever baseball team, and then they found out I could kill the ball when I got up to bat.
Right.
So
but you couldn't run to the bases.
Right.
Well,
it had
that's
to be,
right.
Had to be a home run or he's out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But or a sacrifice.
Right.
It's great for the sacrifice fly.
Get the ball out deep.
In football, I was very hard to tackle.
Of course.
Like three people had to jump on me to
There are
get me
positions
down.
specifically made for that.
For the most part, you're just saying you were picked first.
No, I was
That's
not.
what I'm hearing.
I'm saying I had to prove myself
prove
because I was
it.
a fat kid.
See,
anytime I was with a new group, whether it was school or just whatever,
And I was
last.
I was picked last. I was like lanky and weak and frail, skinny. So I totally get it. On the opposite end. Kelly, how about you?
Picked last always for kickball. Nobody wanted me on their team. I was just small, skinny, no muscles. My 7th grade gym teacher made fun of me in public for not having boobs in 7th grade.
Dude, wow.
For real.
My 7th grade gym teacher at Woodward Park Junior High School
Not calling anyone
on
out.
Carl Road.
What was his name?
Her name was Miss Bovine.
She criticized your breasts?
She made fun of me for not having boobs. Yes, in
Wow.
7th grade. So talk about getting picked last and then getting basically spit on while you're down.
That's harsh.
Tell me about it, man.
All right, now think about it, though. A lot of us had experienced that kind of childhood trauma. What's the adult version of being picked last? People were asked online, getting invited out, but to be the designated driver.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's the adult version of being picked last. People talking about party plans in front of you, but not inviting you to the party.
Or you see the pictures afterwards on Instagram.
Well, something along those lines. Someone said finding out your, air quote, friends went out of town without calling or texting you and letting know they're going on like a little weekend trip or something.
Yeah, that hurts.
Hey,
that hurts.
Hey, what about me? That happened to me one time when I was younger. There was a dance for like our little youth group. And my mom had to work. She worked all the time. And so I was told I'd be picked up. They never came to pick me up. I was the kid standing at the door dressed up and just like, anybody come pick me up? No? Okay.
Damn.
The adult version of being picked last in gym class, everyone going out for lunch at work but not asking you to join.
Or not getting your lunch order if everybody's eating in.
Yeah.
Oh.
Here's another one, being sat at the randoms table at the wedding. Like they don't know where to put you.
That's a good
You don't
one.
fit in any of the friends groups.
That's a good one.
Being invited to an event on the day it's happening, although the event was clearly planned weeks or months ago.
That's what Seinfeld calls an invitation.
Oh, really?
That's great.
Like the day,
invitation.
like that morning, they're like, "Hey, we're having people over if you want to come by."
Yeah.
Oh, this was a 4th of July barbecue you planned forever ago. Yeah, thanks for the invite. Nobody eating your dish at the potluck. That'd be the worst.
That happened to me here, not when we did the Christmas cookie thing.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Just this past Christmas?
Yes, I made molasses cookies, and they're so good. And do you know who had a full plate of cookies left? Almost. When I left, it was me. Nobody ate my molasses cookies, and they were good.
I ate one, and they were good.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Were you just like, oh?
It made me kind of feel a little embarrassed. A little, like a tiny bit.
I can see that. Absolutely. Yeah. Roman had the best one to end it all. Last one to hit the bowl in the smoke session, you get nothing but the burnt remnants of everything else.
So right.
99.7 The Blitz. All right, so here's a fact. When I got married, there's no way I should have gotten married. Like, I 100% forced it. And it was like, oh, this is the natural evolution. This is the next step. This is what you do. You just get married. And there's no way. And I know for a fact. In fact, I've talked to one of my best friends, well, not that long ago. I was like, I know you were there thinking this isn't the right thing. It happens. See it all the time. You go to a wedding, and you're like, eh. Sometimes you're shocked. You're like, oh, you're getting divorced? What? You guys were perfect together. What happened? But there are other times you're like, good luck. There's no way you're sitting next to your plus one like, this is not going to last. Yep. Not going to happen. No way. So, what percentage of people do you think go to a wedding and they're like, this isn't going to last? I mean, I don't think there's any wedding where everyone's like, this is it. They found each other. They found the one. It's got to be someone questioning something, I would think.
I feel like the people who are questioning have been through a divorce, like a painful breakup, that they're like, I don't know, man. Is this a good idea? Is this really, like, why don't you just date?
So they're a little scorned on the inside.
I feel like, because I can tell you honestly, and I've been a great marriage for, a couple decades, and I never expect people to get divorced. Ever. I've never been to a wedding where I thought, this is not going to work.
Really?
Now, a lot of the weddings I've been at have not worked.
Right.
I just didn't expect it.
Okay.
Yeah, I go in thinking, this is great. This is great. It was the best day of my life, my wedding day. So I kind of have that feeling. I don't know, but I look at
You're such
an
optimist.
I am when it comes to weddings.
Okay. Thick.
I think it depends on how well you know the bride or groom, because if you know them really well, you're looking at them going, yeah, no.
Not gonna do it.
I got to believe half of people.
Half people
I
going
mean, the divorce rate's 50%, so half of them are going to end that way anyway.
True.
But you think half the people sitting in any given wedding think that it's not going to work?
Well, probably not every wedding.
I would say a good 10% of people at a wedding.
Like always. Like every wedding, there's going to be 10% across the board.
I think 1 out of 10 people sitting there are like, no way. You either know the groom too well, you know the bride too well.
That's what I meant, yeah.
And you're just like, this ain't gonna work out. Just saying. It's not easy. We already know walking in that marriage is not easy. Yeah. And especially nowadays.
Yeah.
1, divorce is super simple to get. 2, the options now, the second you hit a bump in your relationship, you can be online and find someone to comfort you, and, give you what you need. So instead of working through the problems, you're running right over to the Instafix.
Well, yeah, people will get divorced over, because they can't decide what color to paint the walls, man.
Happens all the time.
It's unreal.
And I remember, not only getting married, but staying married longer than I should have, because it's like, well, married couples fight.
Yeah.
So you work through it.
Yeah.
But then it got to the point of, how much do you fight before it's like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
All we're doing is fighting now, and no one wants to live like that. So it can be a bit more difficult.
I feel like maybe the people who can make the best call on it are probably the parents of either side, the bride or the groom. Like, I have heard stories of like a parent saying, don't do this. Please don't do this. And it was, in fact, a mistake.
Yeah?
Dad's like, my daughter's a spoiled brat. He's never going to put up with her.
Here's another question. Oh, here's a good one. 800-821-9970. Has anyone ever been to a wedding where someone said, does anyone have a problem, whatever the word is? Where someone stopped the wedding? Oh, man.
Have you?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
I haven't seen that.
I don't know what I would do.
That's crazy.
I'd just be like, say what? I think at this point, I'd probably bust out the camera.
Oh,
Nowadays,
100%. You
bust
have
out
to.
the camera.
Yeah.
Because there's
who
about
had
to
a
be
problem?
drama.
Yeah, absolutely. Who had someone try and stop a wedding? And does it work? Has anyone ever stood up and been like, no, I have a problem with this, I object.
Yeah.
And then the bride or groom are like,
all right.
You know what, you're probably right. We probably shouldn't be doing this.
But what are the rules on that? Can the officiant stop it and say, well, I can't proceed because somebody disagrees? Is that...
I don't think it's law.
How does it
law?
work?
No,
why do they ask? How does that work?
Did it used to be law?
I don't know.
Where if someone stood up, then they had to put a pause to the whole thing and be like, all right, wait, we got to talk about this. Hold on. Oh, God, I got to hear this. 800-821-9970 or 99-700. If you are ever a part of this, please give us a call and let us know. 99.7 The Blitz. Raise the question, how many people at a wedding are sitting there thinking, well, this ain't going to last? Because, there's got to be at least a couple at every wedding. I say about 10% of the people there. 1 out of every 10 people there are thinking, this ain't going to happen. And I want to know if you've ever been to a wedding thinking that, because I'll be the first to admit, I know people at my wedding back in 2013 were thinking that. I've already talked to my best friend about it. He admitted it.
Yeah.
He goes, yeah, I didn't think that was right. You probably shouldn't have done that one. If I was there, I would have said no. So, and some people were in that situation. Who was it that just said, where was that text? Oh, Samantha said, my dad even asked me at my first wedding before he walked me down the aisle, are you sure you want to do this?
Oh.
Oh, boy. Her first wedding. I like that. His dad was right. Tammy says, I've been to weddings, and you make a pool with your other a-hole friends about how long it's going to last.
Here's one. My mother begged me not to marry him, and now I'm in the I told you so era.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
If it lasts long enough, then you can be like, see, I told you. And then the other question was, has anyone been to a wedding where someone stepped up and said, I object. These two shall not be married. Mm. And why? What would be the reasoning behind that? Do they actually stop the wedding?
Mary Peters texted in and said, I think it used to be law to prevent relatives from accidentally getting married back in the day, but now it's just part of what you say.
Okay.
That would make sense. I speak now or forever hold your peace. Yeah, they can't. Actually, she doesn't know it, but she's his sister. You know what I mean?
Right,
kind of thing.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, to the Googles real quick, it says generally a wedding objection cannot legally halt the ceremony. Your officiant can ignore it and continue with the wedding if they wish. That said, a legitimate legal observation, such as proof of one partner is already married or, like you said, relative of some sort. Okay. But yeah, wait, they're still married. The divorce hasn't gone through yet because you can't do that.
Ah, okay.
So that would make sense. 800-821-9970 if you've got one. Do we have another text in here?
Yeah, Dalton said, I remember at my sister's wedding, my grandmother told my brother-in-law to run. And 10 years later, divorce.
Mm. Grandma said run.
Grandma said run.
Would
run
you?
To the dude who was marrying her granddaughter.
Right.
Told the dude to run.
If you had a family member that you knew was just that type of person, would you say run to the other person? Would you have enough in you to admit, my daughter, my granddaughter, my grandson is a really troubled person or a really troublesome person? Don't do this. You're setting yourself up for failure. Because I know a family where that could happen. Really? I know a couple people in this family that are a bit of a mess. And I could see someone stepping in and being like, you don't want to do this. You don't want to marry. I know she's my sister. I know she's my niece. But you don't want to marry this person. It's going to be nothing but trouble, I'm telling you now.
Jason Rose said, my father was the best man at my wedding and offered me $5,000 to run at the altar. Got divorced 3 years later, and all I got was an I told you so.
Oh, no.
Offered him $5,000, his dad.
I can't believe that.
To not marry her.
Amy says, my best friend said so many people didn't want her and her husband to get married that they asked the priest not to include the speak now or forever hold your peace.
No.
She said they're still married 12 years later, so that's
All right.
nice.
Question number 3 for the both of you. Is there a person in your life that could come to you on your wedding day and say, look, I'm telling you, I've known you for 25 years. I've known you for 30 years. You're making a mistake. You got to walk away from this. You're not seeing it from the outside perspective. You're not seeing it from 30,000 feet. You're too close to the situation. This is a terrible mistake. Is there anyone in your life that could tell that to you and you're going to be like, huh?
I feel like Jesus himself could tell me that and I would still do it. I would still get married.
So that's a no.
That's a no. I mean, because I always have to make my own mistakes. Like I never, I'll ask for advice, but unless it's in agreement with what I already want to do, I won't listen to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're that stubborn.
I think a lot of people need to learn life the hard way. I really do. I don't know if there's a point where you're so wise. Maybe there is. Maybe I just haven't reached it yet.
You're supposed to reach a point where you don't have to anymore. Learn the hard way.
Learn the hard way?
Yeah, you're supposed to learn from your mistakes.
Yeah.
And then you don't have to learn the hard way anymore.
I just am
anyone in
thinking
your
back,
life?
Yeah.
I mean, if they thought so, I would definitely listen. They'd have to sell me on it.
Right.
You know, I'm like, well, what am I missing? You know, why is there something I don't know that you're not telling me?
Yeah, you got to bring the receipts.
Yeah, exactly.
However, knowing me and being kind of like the logical person that I am, you bring me the receipts. If I've got something, if I got proof to look over, then you've got an argument.
Really?
And I'm going to start deducing. I'm going to start deducing and being like, oh, you're right. And if there's a pattern, a strong pattern, there's probably 2 people in my life that could convince me otherwise.
Really?
If they were to say something. Yeah. Yeah, and one of them, you know, my 2 best friends. One I've known since high school, and we kind of think alike, so I would absolutely listen to what he had to say. The other one, my other best friend, in a lot of ways, we are completely opposite, but that's another reason we're best friends. We have these talks where we're on opposite ends of things, and so hearing the other argument, hearing the other side is interesting.
Okay, well, I guess my only 2 would be my 2 sisters, and I would hear them, but I would not follow their advice. I guess if Christ himself told me not to, I might listen to that.
That might be a reason to listen. Yeah. All of a sudden he comes down and he's
like, no, this is a big mistake. I might say, all right, okay.
Which would make sense, because after, 2025 years not showing himself at all, and he comes down and he's like, Kelly, the one reason I came back is to tell you not to do this.
Do it. I'd be like, all right.
If your marriage was the sign of the apocalypse,
right.
You're marrying the Antichrist. Right. Do not do
Don't do it.
There's a text. Oh my gosh. Jake Lacey said at my brother's wedding, there were 3 cars running outside the wedding waiting for him to change his mind. His marriage lasted 1.5 years.
No.
He didn't change his mind.
They had cars running on the outside.
Then Mindy, now I don't know how you fall on this one. Mindy said, my grandpa offered my dad a brand new anniversary year Corvette to not marry my mom back in the 80s. He declined. My parents were married for 25 years before they split.
Well, there'd be no Mindy if it wasn't for...
Right.
Joe says, my soon-to-be ex-wife's aunt told me I'm better off getting a dog than marrying her niece.
Wow.
Wow. Oh, man.
Oh.
Well, if you've got one, 800-821-9970. You can, of course, shoot us a text, 99700. It's 997 The Blitz.
And now, the 3 things you need to know before you go.
Exactly 1 month from today, on May the 7th, the federal government will no longer consider standard driver's licenses and ID cards as sufficient forms of identification for air travel. You must be Real ID compliant to board domestic flights and access certain federal facilities that are restricted, like military bases and federal courthouses. TSA will require a federally compliant driver's license, identification card, or you could use a U.S. passport or military ID to fly, but that's it. You will not be able to use your regular driver's license anymore. Now, if you want to see if you are Real ID compliant, you likely already know that, because you always have to bring a bunch of extra stuff to the BMV to prove who you are. But your driver's license, on the upper right-hand side, you'll see an outline of the state of Ohio. And if you're Real ID compliant, to the left of that, there'll be a star.
I wonder
if that star's not there, you're not compliant.
I wonder if, because I have the Michigan Real ID, obviously.
Yeah.
So in a couple months, when I get everything situated and get my address and get
that should transfer.
Should it transfer right over without any issue?
I would think you were already.
Because I wonder if, I know in Michigan, especially in Detroit, because so many people go over to Ontario, Windsor right there. It's a 10-minute drive to get to Canada.
Yeah.
That you can use that to go between the two countries. And I wonder if Ohio's the same way, because it's still somewhat close, where you don't need your passport, you can just use your real ID.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I know in Michigan that counts.
Okay,
going over the border. So I wonder if that's the same here.
Huh. I don't know about that.
It should, because you have to have a passport to have that ID, to have that driver's license, right?
No. You don't need a passport to get the real ID.
Oh.
You can use a passport in lieu of a real ID.
Okay.
But yeah. A 49-year-old man holding a blood-covered meat cleaver was shot and critically injured by New York City police officers yesterday after allegedly stabbing 4 young girls believed to be his relatives in their home. One of the young victims, an 11-year-old girl, was able to call 911, and when police arrived at the apartment in Brooklyn, they say it was a horrific scene. The walls and floors spattered with blood. The girls are all going to survive. Thank God. But the police immediately encountered a man standing near the entrance holding a bloody meat cleaver. He was ordered to drop the weapon several times. He refused, started walking toward the 2 officers who fired their weapons. The suspect is in critical condition. All 4 girls, ages 8, 11, 13, and 16, are being treated at the hospital and are expected to survive.
Sounds like a real horror movie.
Yeah,
Isn't that
it does.
It's like a legit horror movie.
What is up with that guy? Well, I just want to leave you with this to make you feel real old. Eminem is now a grandpa. The rapper's 29-year-old daughter, Haley, and her husband, Evan McClintock, shared on Instagram that they have welcomed a little baby boy named Elliot Marshall McClintock. And those are your 3 things.
Very nice. Congratulations, Eminem. Does Heather have long hair?
Oh, God, yes. I know it's everywhere, right?
It's everywhere, right?
It's super thick.
I just had to walk over to Kelly and ask her to look at my hoodie because I keep getting, tickled on the back of the neck, and I'm like, what? It's driving me nuts. And it happens all the time. Nora's hair is everywhere. It's amazing. I was just the other day, I went to the restroom and I unzipped my pants and I was standing there doing my thing and I just felt I was like, what is and I like a bad magic trick. It came out of my boxers, wrapped around certain things, and I was like, wait, how? Where?
How?
Where?
You don't know how?
No.
It happens in the laundry. That's where it happens. It'll get caught in the fabric of your boxers or shirts or things like that.
And the worst part was it was in that crevice between the thigh and the manhood, so it tickled. It was like, whoa! It was that weird little indentation. So strange.
He acted like he was pulling the hair out of his underwear and lifted his leg.
Oh yeah, that's what I did.
Man.
It was like the captain. Like it made my leg. It was like Pinocchio. Like you pulled the string and my leg came up. I was in there dancing with Nora's leg hair. See? How did that happen? We were just talking about Nora's hair showing up everywhere. I had to have Kelly look at my neck. I felt it. I warmed up my breakfast before the last break. I've been eating my breakfast, no problem. I'm halfway done with my little bowl of hashy bees, eggs, and sausage. I look down, and right across the top, like a wave, it was not there a split second ago.
Maybe it fell off.
And Nora's hair all of a sudden is in my breakfast.
Fell off your shirt?
It had to have. I knew I felt the hair, but there it was.
Oh, you think that was the one that was tickling your neck?
Absolutely, 100%. It wasn't in my breakfast.
And there it sits.
Which, by the way, I'm going to finish my breakfast.
Hey, it's Nora's hair.
It's her hair.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I mean, you hope it's Nora's hair.
True.
It could be.
It looked just like.
Could be our sales guy's hair.
No, it just looked just like it.
Okay. Jeff?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Does that look like a Jeff hair?
No, definitely not a Jeff hair. That was a Nora hair. And it's not like I haven't gone before and taken hair out. So, speaking of Nora, what was supposed to be a very boring weekend ended up turning into just an insanely crazy busy weekend. And it began with the fact that we were getting 2 of our cars detailed. She works with a young lady and her husband actually own a car wash. That's what he does for a full-time job. He runs the car wash, and they do like the full detailing. They have a detail person there to do the insides, and I wanted to get both of our cars done. So he said to her, yeah, I'm going to cut you a deal, friends and family discount. It was amazing. He goes, but we're kind of busy. Can you drop the cars off at 7 p.m., and we're going to work on them overnight, and you can pick them up in the morning. So that's what we did. Dropped them off. But then when we talked to him, he goes, my detailer's not coming until 9 a.m. So I was like, wait a minute, we just dropped off both. We've got no cars now. And Saturday morning, I had a bunch of stuff to do. So we had to Uber to pick up the 13-year-old from a sleepover because we didn't have any cars. He had to get in the Uber. Then I had the Uber drop me off at the corner because I had to go to the bank, which was a mile in the other direction. So I said, don't worry about it. I'll just walk while you get things prepared for the birthday party later. So I walked to the bank, did what I had to do, and I had to walk the 2 miles back home. So I'm starting my hike, and she calls me and says, where are you? I was like, I'm walking back. She goes, I don't see you. What do you mean you don't see me? She had started to walk from our house in the other direction to meet up with me.
You.
Yeah, she goes, I wanted to walk with you. I said, great. So sure enough, there we are. We meet in the middle. She turns around. We continue the walk back home. And as we're walking, we're talking. Now, let me backtrack this story for a moment because this was Saturday morning, Saturday at about noon. Friday night, we had gone to grab an appetizer and a drink at our favorite hole-in-the-wall bar that we always go to. And we're sitting there talking, and all of a sudden she turns real fast towards me and goes, oh, my God. What? The guy behind me. The guy sitting behind her was on like a first or second date. You could tell easily by the body language, by the conversation. It was a first or second date. Well, as it turns out, because Nora has lived in the exact same area her entire life, this was a guy from the past that moons ago.
I gotcha.
She had an encounter with. At that stage, she goes, that guy hasn't been back to that bar ever since that night, years ago. And I was like, oh, so you guys, you did the thing, yeah, I know what you're talking about. And she goes, I probably shouldn't have told you that, I'm sorry. I said, I don't care. I don't care one bit.
Everybody's got
everybody's got a past. It's exactly it. We share everything. I know her past, she knows my past, the ups, the downs, the goods, the bads, the good lookings, the uglies. We've all been there. And I say to her, listen, it doesn't bother me because I am confident in what we have. And to be honest, I am confident in what I do in particular rooms of the house.
Okay.
I am certain that you and I have a level of connection that I am A-okay with.
I will say, Goose has told me that he has found the love of his life. This is his best friend.
100%.
He's got no doubts whatsoever.
100%. But as of right now, I'm strictly talking about sex. So,
if you could stay out of this part of the conversation, Thick, that would be appreciated.
And I told her, I'm good. I'm the best.
Wait, Thick, is that true? Is he the best?
I'm going to take his word for it.
I said, compared to this guy doesn't hold water to me. And Nora's response is, you're 100% correct. Absolutely not. He's at like the bottom of the list, like number 436. Excuse me? What did you just say? I know about your past, but calm down there, Bonnie Blue. What are you talking about here? Did you just say number 436? Because if that's the case, we got something to talk about.
They never tell the truth.
I am A-okay with the past, but number 436, dead last on the list?
Made her way through the greater Ann Arbor area.
Right.
Yeah.
She took a pause and goes, wait a minute, that's not what I meant.
Joke.
I just threw out a random number. Okay. But I'm not going to lie, now I'm questioning things. That's all I'm saying. It's 99.7 The Blitz.
Not so breaking news. The news already broke. We're trying to put it back together.
Well, I could think of better ways to get a discount or get someone's attention, but Enfield, New Hampshire, man walked into the Family Dollar there on Route 4. This was his whole scheme. He walked in butt naked with a COVID mask on and went, hey! And then left.
That's it.
That's it. Police are still on the look for him.
I kind of like that as a prank. I mean, you got to have something to break up the day if you're working at a Dollar General.
It's true.
Right?
I mean,
that breaks up the day.
Yeah.
It gives you something to talk about.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Police are still looking for the man described as heavyset and wearing a COVID/surgical mask. The incident is under investigation by the Enfield Police Department, but they're not really all that confident they're going to be able to find the naked Family Dollar general man. He's just walking in. But my question is, how many people saw him walk up to the front door? Did he get out of his car naked? Did he walk there completely naked? Did he drop his clothes right outside the front door?
A lot of questions.
Trench coat off.
Trench coat off.
Yeah.
And then just, hey! And then leave. Speaking of people entering stores and doing what they're not supposed to do, police in Gainesville, Georgia, are looking for a man after Walmart Asset Protection was following a guy through the store and caught him stealing at the location in North Georgia. Police arrested the man with theft. He is actually being thought of as being responsible for several thefts at several Walmart stores around the area, totaling a value of more than $200,000.
Whoa, what are you stealing?
All in all, a pretty normal story. They caught a guy who's been, wanted for stealing. It's good they finally caught off with him because he's been on the run, and apparently he is very fast because his name is Speedy Gonzalez. The man's name is Speedy Gonzalez.
Wow. Okay.
What?
My cousin Speedy is so fast.
Who was that? That was the cousin, right?
Slowpoke Rodriguez.
Slowpoke Rodriguez, yes.
Okay.
He was very slow.
Very, very slow, yes. Look like you had something to say.
I just feel like we're teetering on some racial
It's
insensitivities.
Looney Tunes.
His name is Speedy Gonzalez, although bringing up old Looney Tunes or old Disney can be troublesome
dangerous.
because they've been known to do some things they shouldn't have back in the day.
This guy's parents are boomers. They loved Looney Tunes.
Uh-huh.
And they're like, our last name's Gonzalez. Let's go for it.
We gotta go with Speedy,
It's
don't
his
we?
legal name?
That's what's in the police report. What else are they gonna...
I mean, if your last name's Bunny, don't you think your parents are going to name you Bugs? It's the only thing you can do.
You better. 100%. If my last name, if I was Alexander Graham Bell's great-great-grandson, I'd better be named Taco. Without a doubt. 99.7 The Blitz.
I'm tired of your goddamn rock and roll, anything goes lifestyle.
This is your Blitz Rock Rundown, the Monday morning edition.
Rock and roll! What's up, Tess? How are you?
Good. How you doing?
Not too bad. Not too bad. Before we get to the Rock Rundown, you had the first stop on the tour to the temple this past Saturday. I was so happy to get a text from you, and then I was so sad I was back up in Detroit and I couldn't make it.
You said something like, I wouldn't ever come or something, and it was autocorrect.
Wait. We were just talking about feeling like you're picked last, and I'm understanding that everyone got a text from Tess to come join her. Except me.
Oh, no!
That's what I'm understanding.
Well, first of all, I knew you wouldn't come out because it was in the evening.
Okay.
It wasn't matinee.
Okay, fair.
And for Goose, I didn't want to actually hang out with him. It was more of a, hey, come and see how this works.
Fair enough. Get that too. But here's the thing. See, wait. That's a woman thing. That is strictly a woman thing. Tess just told Kelly, I knew you wouldn't come out. There was no point in sending the text.
You're right.
And Kelly said, you're right,
fair.
I would. Fair enough. I wouldn't have come out. However, if anyone, like a guy, doesn't invite a girl knowing she wouldn't be interested or not tell her something because there's no need for her to know, she goes, yeah, but I would have enjoyed being included in the conversation.
Yeah, I still want to be invited.
That's what I was, and that's a
Tess.
That's what
I still would have liked to have been invited.
That's what I expected her to say.
Right.
That's
but
number one.
She was totally fine with it.
That's number one. Number two, your gig was at 4 p.m., Tess.
That's true. That's
4 to
very
6.
true.
It was a matinee, young lady.
I just stepped in it.
Damn.
All right, next time, Kelly, you'll be the first one I text.
Well, it doesn't do any good now. You've already hurt her feelings.
Yeah, you're not on any more of the stops, so
Ouch.
you don't have to worry
That
about
is
it anymore.
true. Good point.
Yeah.
I made sure you were on more of the stops.
I love
no,
that.
I'm kidding.
I love how confident you said that, Tess. You're like, Kelly, next time I'm out there, I'll invite you.
Next year.
You'll be the first text I send.
Next year.
I don't have any more stops to do. So. But I'm very excited. I actually get to go out for the Blitz, with the Blitz, for the first time this Saturday at the Pizza Cottage at Tipton Tavern in Powell from 3 to 5. So,
Can't come.
3 o'clock, Kelly.
Can't
It's at
come.
3
Can't come?
o'clock.
No, I can't.
It's at 3
Is that too late?
I'm
Is that the
busy.
evening time? Should I not invite you knowing that you're probably already in bed eating your soft
At
food
3
for
p.m.?
dinner?
You never know.
You eat dinner at 1.
I know, but I wouldn't be in bed at 3.
Okay.
Let's get to the rock report,
All right.
Tess. What you got for us?
Oh, well, this is kind of it's sad. Let's talk about Bad Flower. They're going to release their third album, No Place Like Home, on June 20th, and they dropped a new single along with the announcement. It's called Pause, and frontman Josh Katz says it was inspired by losing a pet. And he posted a video on X a few days ago before the song came out talking about it.
Hold on. Sorry. Where is that?
Are you waiting for the
there's-
clip?
Yeah. Sorry. All right, here we go. Here's Josh.
Maggie is 16. She's an old lady. Very, very old. I'm making this video days before the release of the song, and she's not doing well. It will be the hardest loss of my life. If you're like me and you love your pets more than most people, cherish them, give them extra walks, give them extra love. That's all they do is love you back. And sometimes in your house, let them clean it up with a smile.
Yeah.
Hey, Brian May, guitarist for Queen, wrote and sang All Dead on News of the World. It was about his cat that died.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, it is inspiration for some seriously good songs when you experience the death of a beloved pet.
A lot of the feels.
Yes.
Now, Josh, he lives on a farm by himself out in the middle of nowhere. So he says he doesn't have many friends, and his animals are his entire world. And this is the song. Let's listen to it. I need the tissues.
Paws in my hand, and as we lay on the ground, I feel your breath slowing down. Just close your eyes and stay. I'm right beside you.
You're going to write a song about your dying animal?
I'm right beside you.
Okay, this makes me mad. I feel like you're doing it on purpose to elicit emotion out of me, and now I don't want to give you any.
Oh, you know what he says? He says it's a sad topic, but he likes sad songs, and he hopes that it can help someone going through or experiencing that right now.
Has there ever been...
Let me talk about me laying next to my dead pet and hearing its final breaths.
There's a lot of breakup songs and a lot of love songs that touch on sadness, but has there ever been a song specifically written just about I'm laying next to my dead, dying dog?
Oh, and here comes the lethal injection. No.
Oh, no.
Gosh, I'm listening. Oh, this last breath. Oh, no. Brian May's song just talks about this is his childhood cat. So he's an adult writing about a beloved pet who's long passed and just how sad it was. It's like, oh, you kind of came into my life and you didn't even have a name. I gave you a name. And it's like we had such a nice life together and now you're dead. And now, I don't know, it's so sad. It's not about experiencing the lethal injection.
I sit here holding on to this milk bone now that you are so long gone.
I would just like to apologize to Josh Katz for Kelly and Goose crapping all over his song.
Oh, gosh. I felt it. I mean, I felt that like when I heard his song, but then it made me mad. I don't like to be manipulated like that.
Oh.
I really don't. I don't want to hear about your dying
That's
animal.
any TV show or
But when it's
elicits
overt,
emotion.
when it's overt,
what do you mean?
I think every TV show or movie, especially specific ones that are made to make
did you ever
feel
watch
a
This
certain
Is
way.
Us? That show. Okay, that ticked me off every week because all it was meant to do is make me cry.
Every single
Hard
week.
pass.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if I feel that hardcore about this song. Definitely about This Is Us.
Yeah. Ugh. Good night.
When I just lost my dog recently, so it brought up all of those feelings.
See,
Like
that is sad.
Yeah.
That's really sad.
But I can't rock out to it. That's my problem.
Yeah, true.
No, you just sit there and sway back and forth
I
while
know.
holding on to your own arms.
All right, Sleep Theory. They released another song and video off of their debut album Afterglow that's due out on May 16th. It is called 3.
Everything comes in threes.
Oh,
That's the way
how
it's supposed
dare
to be.
you? How dare you try to talk about that and just elicit emotion out of us?
I've never had a threesome before.
Oh, this is nice.
I'm jealous.
Oh, that's nice and crunchy.
Me, it only happens once. Not everything comes in threes.
Now I'm crying because of you.
What else you got, Tess? Come on,
Well,
bring it on, baby.
What else can I make fun of? Let's go.
That is a good song, though. You're right, Nick. That's real good. That's real good.
Yes.
Where are we? Oh, Nothing More. They were just added to the lineup for Incarceration.
Oh, sure.
Now we're going to go to war. Now we're going to talk about war and everybody dying.
They're playing on Sunday, July 20th. I don't know if added is the right word, though. Do you remember when the lineup first came out and there was a band that was blurred at the bottom?
Yes.
Oh, is that them?
That was Nothing More.
Okay.
They were unconfirmed at the time.
So revealed, probably a better word. All right, Godsmack drummer Shannon Larkin says that he and guitarist Tony Rombola quietly quit the band last year. They told Sully that they were just done touring. One of them's 60, one of them's almost 60, and they're just like tired of being on the road. They've been replaced on the European tour by drummer Will Hunt of Evanescence and guitarist Sam Bam Colton, who played with Dorothy and Faster Pussycat. Sully said it was a mutual agreement and it's all love. All right, this is the last one, I promise. The new Becoming Led Zeppelin documentary.
Oh, yes.
It dropped on Friday, like to streaming services.
What?
But, yeah. I thought you would have known about
I thought
this.
it was coming out in theaters only.
Nope.
Well, nothing comes out in theaters only anymore.
It's on Prime, it's on Apple TV,
Really?
it's on Paramount Plus.
Oh, yes.
But it's weirdly hard to find.
Okay.
It wasn't in the featured section up at the top, like you know how some new shows are, usually right at the top. I had to type out almost the entire word becoming before I found it. And it was like 5 spaces over. It's just really hard to find. And it's like $25 to buy it, $20 to rent.
Well, because it's still in theaters.
Yeah.
So, you
Okay.
know, that'll come down, obviously,
Yeah.
in the next few months when it's not in theaters anymore.
It just doesn't make sense to me. If you're going to pay $25 to buy it or $20 to rent it, why wouldn't you just go ahead and buy it? Like,
Well, yeah, of course.
yeah. I don't know.
They want you to buy it.
Right.
Yeah.
Usually farther apart than that. It's usually a lot cheaper to just stream it once.
Yeah, I don't know when it's going to
Right,
price
but
is going to go
again,
down.
it's in theaters still,
Right.
so it'll definitely come down to the point where it's $20 to buy or $4.99 to rent or whatever. But you know, if you can watch a movie that you've been wanting to see, but not have to deal with crowds, make your own snacks, you're
Right.
saving money anyways. So I do want to see it.
Yes.
it does look good for sure.
Gotta see that.
Yeah.
Well, that was your Blitz Rock Rundown.
Appreciate it. Thanks so much, Tess. We will have another one next Monday, of course, right here on 99.7 The Blitz. As we roll into week 10 of this incarnation of Blitz Mornings, and I've had the opportunity to join the show, have had an absolute blast. We get along swimmingly, I believe.
Yeah, definitely.
Everything
It's
is
been
great. However,
Uh-oh.
it has only been 10 weeks, so every so often, still pick up tidbits of information, still learning about each other.
Right.
Oh, this happened to you back in the day. Oh, this crazy story. Tell me more, blah, blah. But one thing I have picked up on, in certain instances, Thick is very confident in certain things that he can do and accomplish, and that is why I'm bringing up this story, because I feel that you might fall into this category. A new headline, a new survey was just revealed that 1 in 50 people think they can outrun a horse in a 100-meter dash.
Oh, yeah. Chad Johnson thought that, too.
There's no way.
No.
There
of course
is
not.
no
He's an NFL
way.
wide receiver. He could not do that. I don't think, what's his name, the Olympic stud?
Well, here's the thing. For what it's worth, the fastest horse ever recorded managed a speed of about 42 miles per hour. Usain Bolt's fastest speed ever was 28 miles per hour. And that is who is considered the fastest man in the entire world, or was for many, many years. I mean, 28 miles per hour is still ridiculous. I mean, that's superhuman speed.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah. I mean, maybe if it's an old, crippled horse, you know.
Yeah, the one that's being led into the glue factory.
Right.
Like, yeah, I'll raise that one right there. A new poll about running and running swagger was asked animals you could outrun. 27% of people are confident they can outrun a crocodile.
Nope.
No, I've seen those things. They're very, very fast.
I disagree. I think I can outrun a crocodile. Not outswim a crocodile, but outrun a crocodile. They reach a speed of about, if they're lucky, 10 miles an hour on land.
You think you can do better than that?
I think I can do better than that.
All right.
Yep. For the short enough burst I would need to get away to then be able to cut around a building, because they're not turning corners fast.
Right.
Or anything like that. So I just need the short runway to get away, and then I can start dipping, dodging, and weaving.
Right.
Dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge. All I need to. 20% of people believe they can outrun an elephant. 1 in 5 people think they can outrun an elephant. Do you think you can outrun an elephant?
I think they can probably
They're
move
so
a lot
lumbering,
faster.
but I feel like if one misstep and you're toast.
Again, in a straight line, they're going to catch up with you. They can run about 20 miles per hour.
Are we both starting at the same starting line?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Yeah, about 20 miles an hour. And then 11% of people think they can outsprint a house cat. That's not happening either.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me.
I don't know who these people are, but they're effing nuts. That's not true.
This is not something as simple as dodging space junk.
That's not happening either.
Yes, it is. You can't jump out of the way of a car. Is that what you're telling me?
No.
Not at the speed that space junk is moving.
But that's thousands of miles away. If you go out here in the front street right now and you see a car coming down this road, you could walk out in the road and jump back before that car got to you. If I'm looking up and space junk's falling from 2,000 feet...
Why are you looking up?
That was the whole point of the debate, Kelly.
No, it's
yes,
not.
it is. When this originally started.
It's got to be when you hear it. When you hear it hurtling through space, it's already too late. And that's when you're going to look up.
You mean it hasn't even entered our atmosphere yet?
Okay, the answer is yes. If there was a laser pointer on the edge of the space junk pointing down towards Earth so you know exactly where it's going to land. You don't know where it's going. Like the car. If the car is in one single lane coming right down the road, yeah, sure.
You think a falling rock is changing directions?
No,
have you ever seen Wile E. Coyote? My gosh.
Yes, I've seen it. The cartoon, yes. I don't know what that has to do with it.
It has to do with your Wile E. Coyote, and you are getting smashed by the Acme space junk every time.
Saying, you got to know where it's going. Otherwise, you're going to run into it.
Falling down.
But it falls at an angle.
It does?
Yes.
It falls at an angle. A rock falls at an angle. So if I go up on the roof of this building and drop a rock, it's going to fall at an angle?
No. Straight down off the top of a building is different than entering Earth's atmosphere.
But I won't see it till it's in the atmosphere.
Right, but it's already on a trajectory of an angle. It's not coming like straight down. I'm just saying. We can continue this debate later. You're not outrunning a house cat.
No, I agree with you.
I
agree with you 1,000% on that.
It's 99.7 The Blitz.
And now, the 3 things you need to know before you go.
The Ohio Division of Unclaimed Funds is launching a new online system to make collecting money easier. And guess what? Kelly Quinn got a couple of unclaimed funds claims.
Really?
Like significant?
One of them's for $6.
Nice.
Some night. I mean, I might bother. I don't know. But you have to give him like all kinds of evidence. But whatever.
Hey, that's a happy meal.
The other one's for like $120.
Oh, that's good.
I'm getting it, baby.
No,
you better believe. If you go to unclaimedfunds.ohio.gov, you can just put your name in and see if there's anything out there. Mine was from 2 things I didn't even recognize. One was a dental thing, and another one was for vet care.
Really?
And I thought, I don't know why I have money, but I'm going to tell you, I'm going to go get it.
Yeah, who cares? Just give it to me.
Get that money.
So it's pretty easy to do. Like I said, unclaimedfunds.ohio.gov. Hantavirus, the rare virus that killed Gene Hackman's wife Betsy Arakawa in February, is now being blamed for 3 deaths in Mammoth Lakes, California. Hantavirus is spread from rodents, typically deer mice, to humans via droppings, urine, and saliva, and cases usually pop up in the spring and summer. Now, all 3 victims reported symptoms in February, and they all died between February 27th and last Thursday. And none of the victims are known to have engaged in activities that could have increased their risk for the virus, like cleaning out areas where mouse droppings are present or anything. Yeah, they don't know why it got them, but it did. Fire Festival 2.0 will not go down in Playa del Carmen in Mexico next month. Now you think, wait a minute, I thought it was in Isla Mujeres. it was. Until Lisa Mujeres says, no, we've issued no permits for anything like this. And they're like, hey, all right, we'll just move it then. So they moved it to Playa del Carmen, and they got the same thing from those government officials.
Nope.
And now, I guess TMZ got a hold of some text messages between a Firefest event producer, these two producers texting each other saying that government officials in Playa del Carmen effed them. So they have to move it somewhere else.
And it's supposed to go down next month. Yeah, this thing ain't happening.
No.
They haven't even announced anyone yet. When did they announce the bands for Sonic Temple? How long ago?
August?
Yeah. Right.
September?
Yeah.
Forever ago.
You do these big festivals, you give more than half a year build-up.
Yeah.
You're not putting something on next month.
Do you remember they announced, well, we do have one woman who will be, she's a real good DJ.
Right.
And during the day, she's going to be doing whale watching tours or something like that. And then at night, she's going to be the hoppin' DJ. So that's all we knew about. But anyway,
not going down.
It's a joke, I know. All right. That's traffic on the... nope, that's not traffic. Those are your three things.
So it's a Monday. You're already blah. You got the week ahead. You might be looking at your 401k or your stocks a little aggravated right now. Let's just see if we can add to the worry. Because, good news, bad news. The good news is scientists have said that the asteroid we've been following, which kind of went up and down in terms of the percentage of the possibility of it striking Earth, skyrocketed, if you will, up to like 3% and then fell back down. And now they're saying no percent. Don't worry about it. But the new worry now is that the asteroid's going to strike the moon. And the first thing I thought when I heard the news, because they were talking about the destruction level it would cause if it hit Earth, and where they perceived it was going to hit Earth was somewhere in the middle, I believe, of the Pacific Ocean. And they were talking about parts of California and parts of Japan, like, gone. The tidal wave, the tsunami was going to take out things on the coast in those places. So obviously it's a pretty big asteroid. The moon, not exactly large when compared to the Earth. So is this asteroid going to shift the moon's orbit? Because if that happens, the moon does control a lot of stuff.
Tides.
Yeah. Talking about tides, some of the gravitational pull, some things that might be concerned us about. So, what will happen if the asteroid does hit the moon? Here's scientist Rob Martier talking about it.
New data from the James Webb Space Telescope gives the asteroid named 2024 TR4 a nearly 4% chance of smashing into the moon. According to NASA, the likelihood of a moon impact is December 22nd, 2032.
Damn.
NASA went on to say that even if it did make impact, it would not change the moon's orbit. The rock is about the height of a 15-story building.
Well, that's good news.
Yeah.
But then what does happen?
Right.
Does it create another crater? It would almost be better, I think, if it does hit the moon, creates a crater, because I guarantee shortly after that, we, as the human species, who knows what's going to happen to NASA and the sorts when 2032 rolls around, but we as the human species absolutely will go up there and we'll be able to study some space rock.
That's true.
Because, find out where it came from, do the scientific thing, find out a little bit about our history when it comes to space. So that could be kind of interesting.
Very.
To see what information comes of that. So December of 2032, we'll be counting down the days, see what that asteroid does.
A new sea of tranquility.
That's right. 99.7 The Blitz.
Now, let's see if we can learn you something. Sit up and pay attention.
Yeah, let's learn you some stuff on a Monday morning, make you a little bit smarter than you were when you woke up today after all the brain cells you killed over the weekend. Have you ever had a limo driver or a party bus driver who was female? I can't remember having one.
I can't remember one.
If you do, they have an official name. A female chauffeur is called a chauffesse.
Is that right?
Yeah, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Chauffeuse. Instead of EUR, it ends in EUSE. So
chauffeur. I don't know.
I'm not smart enough to know. The North and South Poles don't officially have time zones. In the North Pole, each research station uses the time from its home country. And in the South, Since people mostly fly in there from New Zealand, they use New Zealand time zone. So in case you're ever in one of the polls, just know. The Dreamcast. Do you remember the Sega Dreamcast?
Oh, yeah.
I loved my Sega Dreamcast.
Really?
Absolutely. I thought NFL 2K, when it first came out, was the best football game ever made. I just absolutely loved it. However, it sold so poorly that it was the last video game console that Sega ever made. They haven't made a new one since. That's hard to believe.
Sega!
Yeah. But it was very influential. The Dreamcast was the first console to have a built-in modem. So you got to do online play. That started with the Dreamcast.
What?
Yeah. The first to have an actual modem so you could hardline in and
no kidding.
Play online.
I didn't realize that.
And of course now online play is that dominates video games.
Yeah, absolutely. Real quick. Hang on. Let's see what we got.
Show fuse.
Show fuse.
Show fuse.
Yeah.
Okay. Good to know. Thank you. James Madison is the only president who had 2 vice presidents die in office. His first vice president, George Clinton, not of Parliament Funkadelic, died in 1812.
Wait, he's not the one that wrote Atomic Dog?
He is not the one. No. His second was Elbridge Gerry, who died in 1814. What an old name. Elbridge Gerry.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why is it backwards? Shouldn't it be Jerry Elbridge?
That would make more sense.
Right.
Yeah. And finally, I did not know this, but the 8 pawns on a chessboard all used to have their own names. Obviously, we know the knight, we know the rook, we know the bishop, and the king and queen. But the 8 bishops actually had their own names based on non-royalty jobs. The 8 pawns were the gambler, policeman, innkeeper, merchant, doctor, weaver, blacksmith, and farmer.
What?
Those were the 8 pawns in a game of chess. Had no idea.
How long ago did that change?
Oh, that's a good question.
I mean,
that's a lot of names to memorize for. Oh, I'm not going to go through this whole article. Anyways, just know that they used to have names. Okay,
man.
There you go. Learning you some stuff on a Monday morning. 99.7 The Blitz.